Hi Tessa. So I'm just going to do a quick little video to walk you through all of the things that you need to be doing right now. As you can see, if you look at the top right of the screen, I'm logged in under your name, so I'm impersonating you right now. So anything that you see is stuff that you should be able to access from your own computer. You're way behind on things. I can look up here at the top right where it says updates, and I see that there are 147 discussion posts that you have not read yet, and you should be reading all of these. There are 2 Dropbox assignments that I have left feedback for you, and you haven't checked those out either. But for now, let's just get started on all of the work that you're behind on. If you go up to this white nav bar, this rectangle up at the top, we call it a nav bar, you can click on coursework. You'll notice along the side here I have a table of contents, and within each of these units I have everything divided into days. So you haven't even completed our first day of curriculum work yet. So I'm going to click on October 26th in Activity 1 Home Base. This is the first thing you need to worry about completing. As you go through this little unit here, you scroll down, it's got various things that you need to do. There's a video that you need to watch. There's a survey that you have to take. You're going to click on this link to do the survey. You're going to join a discussion where you talk about the results of your survey. I believe the survey is asking you about the type of reading that you do, and you just have to talk to your classmates through this online discussion about the different type of reading that you do. It shows you about how to do e-portfolios. There is a reading and writing self-assessment. So these are some questions that you need to answer on a Word document, and you need to save it into your e-portfolio. It teaches you how to take jot notes. That's the first Dropbox assignment that you haven't done. So what you need to do here is submit your jot notes for your teacher feedback. What you were doing is you're going to watch the video from the top of this page, take point form jot notes about the important aspects of the video, because later on you're going to be writing an information paragraph, and you should be able to use these jot notes that you took to help you write your information paragraph. So you're going to take these jot notes on a Microsoft Word document, save it to your computer, and then upload it to a Dropbox just by clicking here where it says submit your work. It's going to bring you right to the Dropbox that you need to go to. That's the first lesson that you missed. You need to get on that as quick as possible. I'm going to go back up to the top where it says coursework, and I'm going to go to the work from October 27th. I believe this is where the reading response questions are that you asked me about in your email that you think are a bit confusing. So I'm just going to go through this really quickly. So as you come here, you're going to scroll down activity number 2. This is lesson 2. It gives you some tips about how to be a good reader. So you can click on these. You can see here there's little tabs. If you click on those, it's going to give you something that you can read. So you should always be reading through all of this content. It's the equivalent of me teaching you. Like if we were in a regular classroom, I would maybe be up at the front of the class. This is taking the place of that. Okay, so as you continue going on, you just keep reading. Talks to you about some of the things you should do before you start reading. Activating prior knowledge. There's a video here for you to watch. There is a little thing here that you have to read on tiny homes. It's a little article that you can read. Don't forget to scroll down. It is a bit longer than what it looks like. When you're done with that, you click on this little arrow here. That's going to bring you to a second article. You can read about that. Those are different things you're going to have to read in order to write another information paragraph. As you continue on, there's one thing you need to keep updating as you continue on the course. That's a reading log where you just essentially write down every single thing that you read while you're in this course, including the course content. There's a reflection that you need to do. So how did setting a purpose, previewing the text, and activating prior knowledge help you to understand the information you read? That's based on the content that was just before this. So you're going to write that in a Word document, save it to your computer, and then upload it to your e-portfolio by clicking on this link here. If you continue down, there are reading response questions. These reading response questions, this is what you were talked about in your email, are based on those 2 articles from just up here that talk about renting an apartment and living in a tiny or the tiny or small house movement. So that's what these questions are going to be based on. To get these questions, you just have to click on the link there. It's the nice thing, handy dandy clicky links for everything. So it's saying that there are a whole bunch of questions here. You don't have to answer all of them. You'll see each of them has a little letter next to it. You need to answer 3 questions. One question has to be one that has a D at the end. Another question has to be a question that has an I at the end. And another one has to be a question that has a C at the end. These are 3 different types of reading skills that we're trying to build here. So for example, you can't answer questions number 1, 2, and 3 because all of these end in D. So you're only answering really basic, directly stated information questions. You could answer one of these 3. Maybe you might answer number 6 because that's also an I question, and then you have to go down and answer a C question. So you might want to answer, I don't know, maybe number 13, right? One of each of these, one D question, one I question, one C question. I'm just going to go back to our browser here. So when you're done answering those questions, and you're going to answer these on a Microsoft Word document, you're going to save them to your computer, and you're going to upload them to a Dropbox, and you're going to access that Dropbox just by clicking on this little box here where it says submit your work. To submit your work, you're going to click add a file. You're going to find the file on your computer by clicking upload. Click on whatever the file is. When you're done, click add, and then click submit, and you should be good to go. Okay? So I'm just going to close this for a moment and go back to our activity. So when you're done reading those answering those response questions, the next thing that you want to do is read through all of this. It's a little box. Click on the sides. You'll figure it out if you just read the instructions. Practice. Based on the information you got about the structure of an information paragraph, write a brief description about what each of these parts of information should have in order to be effective. So essentially what I'm asking you to do here is to tell me and figure out what makes a good information paragraph. Once you have figured out some criteria that you think is very good to have a good information paragraph, you're going to talk about what that criteria is in this discussion forum. So you're to enter the discussion forum, you're going to click here. This is going to bring you to the discussion forum. You're going to start a new thread. You're going to say Tessa's criteria could be the subject, and then you're going to go through and give all of your things that you think make for a good information paragraph. Then you're going to click post, okay? I'm actually not going to post that because I don't want you to have gibberish under our discussion forum. And then finally, when you're done with that, the consolidation or the assignment that you need to hand in is writing a rough draft of an information paragraph. So it says, based on the jot notes you completed in Unit 1, Activity 1, those were jot notes that you wrote based on home and earth, you're going to write an information paragraph. So you're going to do a rough copy of an information paragraph, and you're going to submit that paragraph to the Dropbox. This is something that I have to mark, so you need to hand it in. So that's just the first 2 days worth of assignments. Hopefully once you go through these and you figure out how all of these buttons work and all the things you're supposed to read and the links you're supposed to click on, hopefully lesson 3, 4, 5 and all the way to the end make a little bit more sense. If this still is not clear to you, then I can try calling you, but hopefully this visual has helped out. Really all you need to do is read the instructions and click the hyperlinks and click the little boxes where it says click here and submit here, and you should be good. Thanks, and again, let me know if you still need help.